and welcome to the Secrets of Happily Ever After YouTube channel. I want to share with you in today's episode the number one mistake that most couples make around Valentine's Day. Now, as a relationship coach and expert, I will be completely honest with you and tell you that the 2 weeks following Valentine's Day are my busiest weeks. Here's why. For one, February is the most depressed month of the year. In all of the research, it shows that people are the most depressed and seek out the most antidepressants in the month of February. I'm sure this is for many reasons, including the fact that it's cold, it's dark, we're still quite a ways away from spring. People have been bundled up in their homes, not out as much. You're on the heels of January and the holidays, and all of the bills are starting to pile up. And then you throw Valentine's Day in the mix. And what happens is couples will mess up Valentine's Day for the reason I'm going to share with you here. And then they'll be scrolling on social media and they'll see all of the incredible Valentine's Day posts of everyone they've ever known and all of the incredible things that their friends did for Valentine's Day, and they start to doubt and feel bad about their own relationships. So in this episode, I want to talk to you about the number one mistake that couples make at Valentine's Day and exactly what to do to avoid that very mistake. So here it is. Are you ready? The biggest mistake that couples make around Valentine's Day is not communicating about it so that their expectations are aligned. So there you have it. Misaligned expectations are the biggest killer of Valentine's Day romance that there is. So whether you are a big fan of Valentine's Day, or you could take it or leave it, or you wish it would just go away, the reality is that Valentine's Day comes every single year, February 14th, and it's not going anywhere. So we might as well face it head on and learn how to make it a good holiday that strengthens your relationship and deepens your intimacy. So my number one piece of advice for you is to start today discussing your needs, wants, desires, expectations around Valentine's Day, and do it with sincerity and honesty. So here are a few things to consider when you're talking about and planning Valentine's Day this year. Number one, if you have a busy family with lots of activities, you're going to want to discuss, are you going to celebrate Valentine's Day on the day, or are you going to round it to the closest weekend? Are you going to want to celebrate it as a family or something special just with the two of you? Decide together what will make it meaningful. Number two, money. You don't have to spend exorbitant amounts of money for Valentine's Day to be special. Decide together if you want to go out to a fancy dinner or you want flowers, but you don't have to do any of those things to make Valentine's Day meaningful unless one of you feels like spending a lot of money on the other person shows your love. But there are lots of things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money. For example, I know for Valentine's Day, I want a written out love letter from my husband. Now, he's great about telling me he loves me all the time, but very rarely does he have the opportunity to write it out in letter form. So you better believe that starting today, I'm going to let him know how meaningful it would be to me if I got a handwritten love letter from him for Valentine's Day. That takes all the guesswork out of it, but it still means just as much if I don't have to stress about whether or not he's going to do something special for me. It will be just as wonderful when I get to read his words, whether I asked him to do it or not. Number three, do something a little bit special. Again, this doesn't have to take a lot of time or a lot of money, but going above and beyond and showing your partner that they mean a lot to you on a day that's designated just for that will score you big brownie points. So don't overlook it as cliche or something that everyone's doing. Everybody wants to feel special. Everyone wants to feel loved and seen by their partner. So when you sit down and talk about what's important to you about Valentine's Day, don't gloss over this. Don't just brush it off. Have a meaningful conversation about things that truly make you feel loved. Now, if it's been a while since you've figured out each other's love languages, you can sign up for my free love language challenge by going to www.secretsofhappilyeverafter.com/love language challenge. It takes a week, and I'm going to send you a prompt over email every single day for 6 days. And by the end of it, you should have a really good idea of what your partner's primary love language is. And even if it doesn't come naturally to you, by serving them in their primary love language on and around Valentine's Day, you can show them that you value them, that you care about them, that you love them in a little bit extra special way because it's Valentine's Day. Now, here's a point that I want to make sure comes across in this episode. So if you take nothing from this, I want to make sure that you get this one thing, that you can make space for your priorities by communicating your expectations to each other. What I mean by that is by telling your partner what would make you feel special, you're eliminating the possibility that they will fall flat on their face, that they'll fail you, that they'll disappoint you, that you'll feel unloved and overlooked, whether you think you need certain things or not. So what happens is we say, oh, Valentine's is not that big of a deal. Don't go spend money on flowers. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's not that big of a deal. And you really honestly think that. But then you're going to be scrolling through social media and you're going to see all of these big special expressions of love that your friends got. And you're going to feel this tinge in your heart like, oh, my spouse didn't do anything like that for me. And it's going to start to make you doubt. So instead of setting your partner up for failure, instead set them up for success. Let your partner surprise and delight you by doing exactly what would make you feel special and loved on a day that's designated exactly for that. Most of us expend way too much energy hoping that our spouse is going to get it right, when we could be spending all of that energy enjoying exactly what we were hoping for. Does that make sense? All you have to do is communicate your expectations to each other and set each other up for success. Then you can enjoy all of the good feelings and joy and intimacy and fun that Valentine's Day was intended to be. You can take all the stress out of it and then just enjoy it. Part of being in a long-term relationship and experiencing joy and happiness within that long-term relationship is creating exactly what you want. I talk about it all the time. The opportunity that you have to write your own happily ever after love story. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens with intentional effort. So instead of just hoping that your partner will read your mind and know exactly what's going to make you feel loved and special and seen this Valentine's Day, I want you to sit down and have a conversation about it. What would make you feel so loved and special this year? How can we celebrate Valentine's Day in a way that honors our relationship, strengthens our love for each other, and deepens our intimacy? What would you like to see happen? How can we make this special? Let's get it right this year. Now, if you're feeling in a tough spot in your marriage and you could benefit from strengthening your bond and your connection, then be sure you look into training in the art of connection. You'll just go to www.secretsofhappilyeverafter.com/get trained, or or sign up for a complimentary relationship breakthrough by going to www.secretsofhappilyeverafter.com/apply. Either way, my hope is that you will enjoy Valentine's Day, that you will see it as an opportunity to deepen your love for each other and strengthen your bond by getting exactly what you are hoping for. So start today, start thinking about what you would really like to experience on Valentine's Day, and then share that with your partner. Set them up for success, and then just enjoy the result. And I will see you same time, same place next week. And until then, happy marriaging.
To learn more ways to deepen your intimacy and strengthen your relationship, make sure you watch this video next on